Good evening and a warm welcome to this session of Narrating Difference, a Comparative Literature Research Forum. Today's speaker is Dr. Mohammed Imran from the Department of Arabic Studies, FLU Hyderabad, and the session is titled Post-Ottoman Narrative Turn Across Geographies, the Arabs and the Balkans. Before we get started, I'd like to share a bit about the history of this research forum. The students of the Department of Comparative Literature and India Studies at the English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad, have been organizing research forums regularly. Since its inception in 2018, this student led initiative provides an academic space for dialogue, exchange, and critical reflection, bringing together scholars from diverse disciplines and research interests. The research forum, now named Narrating Difference, continues to strive in its efforts to invite and host people across disciplines, borders, and perspectives. We are grateful to have Dr. Imran with us today. Before we begin, we would also like to inform you all that this session is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Narrating Difference YouTube channel. I also request everyone to keep your microphones muted during the talk. There will be a Q&A session at the end, so you can post your questions in the chat or raise your hands once the talk is over. Now I'd like to invite Shachi to formally invite today's speaker, and then Dr. Imran can take over the session. Shachi, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. Today we have Dr. Mohammed Imran as our speaker, who is an academic specializing in modern Arabic literature and the post-Ottoman intellectual history of the Arab Middle East. He earned his PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University and currently teaches at the Department of Arab Studies, EFL University. His work covers contemporary Iraqi novels, modern intellectual history of Arabs, and post-Ottoman narratives. He has been a visiting researcher at Leiden University, working on developing a new theoretical concept of post-Ottomanism in post-Ottoman literatures. We welcome you, sir. You can now start your talk.
Okay, thank you for welcoming me and thank you for this forum, and especially thank you for Ifshta ma'am for giving me this opportunity to introduce a new concept, a new theoretical concept in cultural studies, that I mean post-Ottoman literary term. So thank you everyone. So just let me start from my statement from Balkan region. So before I enter in that topic, let me share my screen. So is it visible to all?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So when I am talking about Balkan region, and it is a comparison between Balkan region and Arab region. Both has been territories of Ottoman Empire. Okay, Balkan region, it is consists of some countries, group of some countries. Right now, it is Eastern Europe. So Ottoman Empire expanded until Bosnia and Serbia borders, but it could not take control of Hungary. So this is the Balkan region that is visible in this picture. Coming back to Arab world, that is Middle East in colonial language, and for us it is West Asian language, West Asian territories or countries. So Ottoman Empire had been controlling, rule our Saudi Arabia, some parts of Saudi Arabia, and the Levant countries, including Iraq, including Yemen, and in North African some countries, including Tunisia, Libya, and then Egypt, then Sudan. So this was the map of Ottoman Empire. But what happened after Ottoman Empire? What happened to the literature that was produced after collapse of this empire? And how do the people after this collapse think of their imperial past? So if my screen is visible, the first basic question, does Ottoman context exist in post-Ottoman literary and other intellectual outputs? Second question, how do the intellectuals react to that imperial past of Ottoman rule from the post-Ottoman Balkan and Arab regions? Actually, why I use the word turn? I have seen recently that a global competition to literary approaches, it was dominated by post-colonial studies, and people are talking about colonial period. They are talking about post-colonial decolonization, colonization, whatever. But the formerly Ottoman territories, the literature and intellectual output that was produced by these countries that were previously ruled by Ottoman empires, less or no one is comprehensively talking about Ottoman past. So even Arabic literature is written, and there is a lot of references we can find in Arabic literature, in modern Arabic literature. Especially, I will refer at the end of this lecture the modern Arabic poetry. Lot of references are there, but yet people are not talking about Ottoman context. So, due to domination of post-colonial approach in Arabic studies, in Middle Eastern studies, in historical studies, in Balkan studies, the Ottoman context is being overshadowed, or yeah, someone can say that is being overlooked. So Ottoman turn, why did I use deliberately term turn? Turn because recently I have seen an article. It was published by a professor, by a professor from University of Oslo. Uh, Wegner, I think, if I am correct in his pronunciation. So he is talking about that in area studies, post-Ottoman is missing. So he is introducing post-Ottoman studies as a new area studies which has never been. So, though he is talking about this gap, a scholarly gap, but he focus his concentration only on political studies, only on area studies, or post-Ottoman studies as an area studies or as historical studies, whatever. No one is talking about post-Ottoman as a literary theoretical framework, as literary studies or post-Ottoman criticism, this and that. So this was a scholarly gap that we are going to discuss in this session, and I will try at my best. So let me start from this novel. The bridge that it is visible on my screen, I hope everyone is able to see that. This bridge is between Bosnia and Serbia. And is this screen visible?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, thank you. So this bridge is between Serbia and Bosnia, connecting from one side Bosnian country and another side the Eastern Europe, Serbia, and after that Bulgaria, and after that Istanbul, then rest of Eastern countries or rest of Asian countries. In 1577, this bridge was built by a local Ottoman ruler. His name was Muhammad Pasha Sokolovich. Completed in 1577, connecting between two cities that were isolated from centuries, that could not be connected with each other. But Ottoman Empire came, and local ruler named Muhammad Pasha, he thought that these cities should be connected because someone is not able to pass this river. So between Bosnia and Serbia, he connected this river. The architecture is Ottoman architecture. So the engineer was Ottoman engineer. So nowadays we can say it is Ottoman imperial architecture still exists in that city. What happened in 19th century? The author, his name is Ivo Indrich from he is actually born in Hungary. So he had a identity crisis. He had his parents belonged to Hungary, and he came to then Bosnia. Then he shifted to today's Serbia. So identity is actually shattered between three nations, between three countries. So that is also topic of post-Ottoman Balkan, how identity is crashed due to Ottoman collapse. So that is a different topic that can be added as a subchapter of this umbrella term. However, coming back to this point, Ivo Indrich was born in that he spent his childhood in that village on which this river was there. The river name is the Rina. So he's used to see this river So after that, he wrote this novel, and this novel got awarded with won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1961, and the novel was published in 1945. And Evo Indrich was born in 1892, and he died in 1975. So coming back to this novel, this is a quotation. I selected only three quotations from his novel, and I could not select the entire quotation, but let me have an overlook of these quotations, like a cursory review. He is talking about this river and about this bridge that was built by Ottoman. He says, thus the bridge uniting two parts of Sarajevo Road linked the town with its surrounding villages. Another thing in second paragraph on page number 14 of this novel, he is using deliberately this language. What is his language, its style that did he use while admiring that Ottoman imperial architecture? For this great stone bridge, a rare structure of unique beauty such as many richer and busier towns do not possess. Then coming down, he again praised that bridge and says that with other parts of Turkish Empire, all way to all way to Istanbul. Okay, so he's talking about how did bridge historically connected two isolated regions. Then he praised, and continuously he is praising and admiring this bridge until 100 pages. After 100 pages, he shifted his dialogue, he shifted his focus theme from admiring and praising this to contemporary history. Then he comes to refer First World War and then Second World War, then what happened until his life or until the time of his this novel publication, what happened to that bridge. So he think that bridge has been a silent witness of the history throughout the decades and centuries. Then coming to third paragraph that I selected here, it is on page number 22 to 4. He says one thing about an Ottoman ruler. I start reading from here. The great barracks, which the people still called the Stone Hand in memory of Muhammad Pasha's Caravanserai, which had once been there, but had now disappeared without trace. Now the question is that who is remembering this Ottoman ruler, Muhammad Pasha? Who is remembering? First question. Second question: why author is remembering and why Bosnian people are remembering till even after collapse of Ottoman Empire, 3 decades after end of Ottoman Empire, Bosnian people are remembering Ottoman ruler. His name is Muhammad Pasha. So why did they remember him? Till now, even 3 decades have been passed our Ottoman end. Why do people still want to remember an Ottoman ruler or governor? Why do they remember Muhammad Pasha and his caravanserai even after it has disappeared from this earth? No sign is there, but still they are remembering Ottoman Empire. And there is a sarai that was built by Ottoman Empire. Why? Why did the author make an imperial architecture as the central protagonist of his novel? So why he chose this bridge to talk about and make the entire central theme of his novel? Why did he admire this bridge? That was the imperial object. Remember and re-signify it. Decades after the end of Ottoman Empire, after the Ottomanization of the country, how can we see this admiral of an imperial object? So these are the basic questions. Now coming to back, why these questions are important? Actually, if let us take an example from colonial and post-colonial studies. If the colonized society, after decolonization of any country, okay, and the people now are free, okay, they are independent, and earlier, once they were colonized, if they are talking about any colonial object, so we can discuss that kind of reference, or if they are admiring any colonial object, any colonial architecture, or they are using any colonial language or any colonial sign, or still they are respecting any colonial object or taking inspiration from any colonial architecture or historical legacy, whatever, if they are remembering colonial time and colonial periods and their contribution to their countries. So we can't say that they are going to decolonize their society or decolonize literature, or their thoughts are completely decolonized. In post-colonial study, that kind of thing or that kind of example oftenly is discussed under the theme of mimicry or ambivalence or hybridity sometimes. as per the theory of Homi K. Bhabha and many other post-colonial scholars. But what happened in post-Ottoman studies? If a post-Ottoman studies society, after Ottoman collapse, a post-Ottoman society is remembering Ottoman imperial legacy and still they are admiring them or longing for them. So, do we think that still that it is a hybridity or it is mimicry or it is ambivalence? So, I think the context of colonial and the context of post-Ottoman both are very, very different from each other. First thing, in colonial period, they were colonizers and their rule, it was considered as a colonialization. Regarding to Ottoman, I don't see any scholar or there is a majority of scholars who agreed that Ottoman rule is being considered or widely considered or scholarly considered as a colonial period. They are oftenly refer Ottoman period as an Ottoman imperialism. So Ottoman Empire and the colonial structure of ruling and power was completely different from each other. So how do I see this theoretically? I see this admiration of an imperial object that is bridge on the Rhine River in that novel. I see that now the after 3 decades of Ottoman collapse, the author is discussing about that bridge and admiring that bridge. It means he is considering that bridge, that now this bridge is no longer an Ottoman bridge, no longer an Ottoman property, no longer an Turkish property, no longer as a part of Ottoman rule or society and culture. Now it is our bridge. It is bridge of European people. It is bridge of local people. So bridge is no longer an Ottoman object. It is now our bridge. So we will talk about. There is no problem if we are feeling any proud of that bridge. So some kind of shifting in thought association with that bridge in the minds of those de-Ottomanized society. So here I see that it is a re-signification of that imperial symbol. That imperial symbol, the bridge in this case, now is doesn't stand for an enduring rise of that Ottoman legacy, but has been a marker of decline of the empire, because people see now bridge as their own property, not as a property of empire, Ottoman Empire. So they don't hate that. They feel proud of talking about that. So it is a marker of decline of Ottoman Empire, and now it is shifted from Ottoman system, Ottoman authority, or then to their people assets. Second thing I see here, it is inheritance. So the sense of feeling that it is our inheritance, no longer an Ottoman bridge, it is our Ottoman, it is our bridge. Now it has been our, Bosnian bridge. It marks an example of continuities. So in empire study, we study two things, continuities and discontinuities. So when I talk about empire studies, how can we discuss post-Ottoman literature through empire studies or through framework of empire studies? So we can say there are some continuities, there are some discontinuities. So as continuities, still Bosnian people or their author, especially in this case, this author is talking about the continuity of that architectural legacy of Ottoman Empire. But at the same time, that author neglects any other reference, avoid any other reference to Ottoman legacy, such that system, such that Ottoman religious legacy, Islamic legacy, or Ottoman systematic bureaucratic legacy. No, he doesn't talk anything about any other legacy. He pick only this architectural legacy of Ottoman that indicates that he is selecting a memory, a selective memory is there. He is selecting a single memory to dominate our memories that are related to Ottoman Empire, to leave his readers in a positive way. To leave his readers when the reader is reading up this novel and ending this novel. So the novel leaves readers in a positive sense of thinking about or thinking of Ottoman empires. So he doesn't, let them, he doesn't make them feel hatred and no any such kind of reference that they were brutals, they were this and that, they were brutals, they were bad people, they mistreated with us. But instead of all these things, Ottoman bureaucracy, Ottoman system, if is there a oppression is there, if any repression is there, or if any mistreatment by Ottoman is there, but he neglects and avoids all kind of references and picks up only this architectural bureaucracy, architectural legacy of Ottoman Empire to indicate that we should continue with Ottoman architectural legacy and what Ottoman built in our state and avoid any bad thing or any other reference. In this way, we should continue with that legacy and we should remember Ottoman. So he is leaving his readers not in a sense that readers will start to hate Ottomans or to think of Ottomans negatively or this and that. So here the imperial nostalgia, the concept of this imperial nostalgia emerged from here, that how his novel is contributing in making imperial nostalgia or creating imperial nostalgia in the minds of readers of this novel. So coming to second example, there is another novel. Now I am opening another novel that is Darwesh. That is Death and the Darwesh by Misha Salmivok. Death and Darwesh. Yes. So this is second novel. Another novel I picked up from Balkan literature, and that is Death and the Darwesh. Some paragraphs are selected here. It is written by Misha Salimovic. Misha Salimovic, he died in 1982. He a Bosnian writer, and actually after his death he was celebrated by Serbian Literary Society. So he was also not satisfied with his identity. He didn't have a single identity. His identity was crashed between 2 or 3 states. So this is also a topic of post-Ottoman Balkan identity crisis. Born in Bosnian Muslim family, but after independence of this country and become when both countries were divided with each other and they become separated from each other, he shifted to Serbia. Now coming from a Muslim background, Bosnian Muslim family, shifting to Serbia, he faced many problems, many obstacles. So at the end when he died, so Serbian Association of any literary club, they celebrated his death and whatever they remembered and they regarded his literary contribution. So he was a Bosnian Muslim writer and he published his novel in 1966, and he is one of his most successful novel. I distributed study of this novel into 3 scenarios. One scenario is that this novel often uses quotes from Islamic rituals and Quranic verses. Suppose that I want to let anyone see here. So Quranic verses are here. Many times he used Quranic verses. So another thing, after Quranic verses, he used lot of vocabs. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. He start this novel from a Quranic verse, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And at each and every chapter, before each and every chapter, he used that Islamic quotation and Quranic quotation. One point to be noted. Another point to be noted in this novel, lot of vocabularies he used that is origin from Turkish language or Persian or Arabic. He used the Ottoman lexicon, Ottoman language. Suppose that bay, he used bay. He used darwesh. He used takiya. Takiya is a specific place that is used for by Sufis to sit. and to sit and to pray. So that specific place that is known as the in Sufism a sacred place is it is considered as a sacred place in Sufism. So he used a lot of vocabs, and at the end of this novel, we see that the glossary of Ottoman lexicon is attached here. So this one, Sheikh, Saraf, Porte, Softa, and Khwaja, and many lot of vocabularies he used from Ottoman language, Persian, Arabic, and Turkish. This second point. Third point to be noted about this novel that the entire novel is set on a Sufi tradition. Sufi tradition that is related to a religion related to Islam, a completely Islamic practice by Sufi order. So this is an religious aspect of this novel. This is one scenario. How did he use Islamic lexicon? How did he use Ottoman language, means imperial language? And how did he use Quranic verses in opening each and every chapter of this novel? One scenario. Now coming to second scenario about this novel. The second scenario is that the main character of this novel, his name is Ahmad Nasiruddin. Ahmad Nasiruddin is not a common man, he is a Sufi. And Darwesh in Persian is a word that is used for Sufi, and in Arabic we say Sufi, in Persian we say Darwesh, and in English that is translated can be as saint. So this is Darwesh, a Sufi person, Ahmad Nasiruddin. The novel, the temporal setup of this novel is 18th century. The time he selected for this novel is 18th century of Ottoman period. What happened? His brother Ahmad Nasiruddin, who is a sheikh, who is a Sufi scholar, a Sufi person, saint of Ottoman period, his brother was executed by Ottoman local ruler. But that Sufi could not do anything to save his brother from this execution. He thought a lot of time, what should I do? But he could not do anything. When he received his news that his brother is executed, at that time he felt his guilty that, oh, in these days I could not plan anything to protect my brother from execution. So what should I do? I should fight against this system who executed my brother without any trial and without any prior information. This was the main point. Without any trial, his brother was executed by Ottoman local ruler. Okay. So he decided that I should take a revenge of my brother by those authorities, by those judges who signed the order of execution on my brother because I could not do anything. I am feeling guilty of. So he started his campaign and his movement, and he internally mobilized, and he started to work on it. At the end of the day, he was able to take the control of that judge house, okay, justice house, whatever. So he replaced those judges who was in his thought were very corrupt judges and cruel judges. He replaced them and he became judge. It means he is replacing those judges and becoming part of the very system he criticized just before. So he became part of that system. He became judge. As a revenge, what did he do? He make a friendship with the son of that judge who passed the order of execution. His son's name was Hassan, Mr. Hassan. So now Hassan, son of ex-judge who killed his brother, executed his brother, he became friend of this Sheikh Nasiruddin Ahmad. Both became friend. When this person, this Sufi, became judge of local court, immediately in the revenge of his brother, he passed an order to execute Hassan, who was son of previous judge. Okay, in this way, he took revenge for his brother. So this is second scenario of this novel. Now coming to third scenario. The third scenario is related to author's life. Some critics say that actually it is an autobiography, but not written directly as an autobiography. What did the author do? He used Ottoman period, he searched for a protagonist, he picked a character from 18th century of Ottoman and went back to criticize his present. Why they are saying this? What is argument behind this? Let me explain within 1 minute. The author of this novel actually was a Muslim person. He took birth when Ottoman were there in Ottoman time. After that, after his school education, and he got some education from Istanbul, I think, as well. Okay, and after some time, when he became big, became a teenager, and after some time, there was a movement of nationalism, and in the wave of those movements, that author became an atheist. He declared his atheism. He declared that I am no longer a Muslim. I am a communist person. So he started to believe in communism. So he worked in communism. There was a communist party working at that time in Bosnia, in these countries. They were fighting for their freedom, and they were fighting against Nazi, against German rule. So in that fight of by that was freedom fighting, they described this as a freedom fighting for their country, independence of their country, and his entire family became communist. His elder brother became part of that communist party and became office bearer. He was taking control of their office. One day, what happened? The people, the other communist party, found that some things are missing from office, and they accused his brother. That his brother, his name is not mentioned in this novel. Actually, sir, it is not directly referred in his novel. But that communist people, the other office workers or office bearers, accused his brother that his brother has theft many things from office of communist party. So they told me that I didn't do this thing. Why should? But without any trial, without any information, immediately they executed his brother. Then he realized, okay, I am also a part of an active participant of this party, an active cadre of this party, Communist Party. My brother was a Communist Party. We dedicated our life to this communism for freedom fighting, but our contribution can't be ignored easily. But yet, in spite of all these contributions, they executed my brother, and they even didn't inform me. They even didn't inform or any trial for my brother. So he became disappointed, and at that time he decided to leave that party, but he could not leave at the end of his time. So this incident happened to him. Now he wanted to criticize this, but he could not criticize this thing directly. So he's avoiding any direct reference. He's taking help and assistance. He's taking help of an Ottoman character. So this is where he is criticizing his present by taking the help of Ottoman past. So this is the third scenario of this novel. Now coming to the questions. The question is there, how did formerly Ottoman culture reframe Islam and Ottoman heritage after Ottoman collapse? Because he used Islamic lexicon there, Islamic teaching is there. Second question that. So the use of Ottoman language is this novel, is it an accidental or is it a meaningful for scholars, or is it in a meaningful in the theory of post-Ottoman studies? So let me explain these questions. So the answer to first question actually, the influence of Islamic culture in this novel, unlike we see in post-colonial literature, is not mimicry or ambivalence or any other thing. Here we see that Islam that was brought in these countries in Eastern Europe through Ottoman Empire, Ottoman expansion. After that, once they become Muslim, they inherited this culture. Okay, then they internalized Islamic values. Now Islam doesn't. Islam was not or no longer for them an external entity that was imposed upon them. Once they accepted Islam through Ottoman expansion, they internalized Islam. So Islam became the part of their life, became part of their faith. Now they are no longer seeing this Islam as a foreign entity or as an imposed beliefs or imposed culture or values. So they should hate Islam. No, they internalized. So therefore, references of Islamic quotations or Islamic teachings in this novel that was written 2 or 3 decades after Ottoman collapse is indicate that still one legacy of Ottoman, that is religious legacy, is still continuing. still continues in that culture, continues in their literature or in their intellectual production. So they are neglecting other legacies. The Ottoman bureaucracy is no longer there. They are no longer part of Ottoman system. So entire Ottoman legacies or many other legacies stop there, but only one legacy does continue, that is Islam. And still we see in these regions, Balkan, Bosnia, Albania, Macedonia, and Serbia and Bulgaria. In these, the Muslim population is too much bigger than comparison to other part of Europe. So this legacy of Ottoman, that is religious and Islamic legacy, still continues in that area, and it is referred through their literature. So this is a continuities of empire legacy that we see in the form of Islamic values in this novel. Here I want to say another concept develop here, or I can say emerge here. What is that? The author that I referred previous my PPT, Ivo Indrish. Ivo Indrish picked up only one aspect of legacy, that was architectural legacy of Ottoman Empire. And this novel picked up Islamic beliefs, religious legacy of Ottoman. Both avoided all those legacies, all other legacies, but they are continuing with, one is continuing with architectural legacy, and this is continuing with abstract thing that is not visible, that is a belief, that is a religion. So here the concept of double inheritance can emerge. Double inheritance. They are neglecting, they are not continuing with all inheritance, with all heritage of Ottoman Empire. Instead of continuities, they are continuing with only selective memory or selective legacies of Ottoman Empire. According to this author, he is taking away with Islamic beliefs, and as per the another author, just I took example from Ivo Indrish, he is taking away with architectural legacy. So here the concept of double inheritance can emerge. So second point is that theoretical analysis to second scenario. So second scenario, where I discussed how did he pick up that person who is an Ottoman character, a Sufi, Ahmad Nasiruddin, and his story I briefed there. He took revenge of his brother, and he replaced those judges, and he became himself part of that very system he criticized just before or just few days ago. In that scenario, the selection of Ahmad Nasiruddin from 18th century Ottoman societies is not an accident, but it is revealing and meaningful to post-Ottoman studies. By reviving the story of Ottoman judges, local rulers, he actually refers to the bureaucratic legacy of post-Ottoman. So here a kind of reference is found, bureaucratic legacy of Ottoman, past Ottoman. Even after decades, after the end of the empire, the author still wants to go back a century ago and select an Ottoman national's identity and his story to criticize his present. So still Ottoman past is providing a kind of solace, a kind of inspiration, or a kind of theoretical material to prepare the plot of his novel. So he didn't neglect the entire Ottoman structure, or didn't focus on any kind of hatred or any kind of anti-Ottoman sentiments, or he didn't focus on de-Ottomanizing his society. And the third point, as I mentioned already, that if we compare between these two novels, we came to know we can discuss the concept of a double inheritance that can emerge here. Now the point is there. If we compare this, I am stopping this screen share and coming back on screen. Yes. So now coming to Arab world. Let us compare Arab world post-Ottoman literary thoughts in Arab world and post-Ottoman literary thoughts in Balkan. As till now, still my study continue, and my words are not final verdict, and I don't claim any authority till now because I am working on it. But however, till now, but it is my research output and outcome. The Balkan, post-Ottoman Balkan writers didn't didn't write any anti-Ottoman sentiments. They didn't leave their readers in a space that they should start hating Ottomans. They should start thinking of Ottomans as foreigners, as occupiers, as enemies. But what happened in Arab world, especially in case of Iraq, especially in case of the Levant literature or in case of Egyptian literature, the literary outputs from these countries, that is another part of post-Ottoman studies, in these countries, they are targeting the mind of their readers. They are targeting the consciousness of their readers. They are shaping the ideas of their new emerging generation to leave their generation or the readers of their literary outputs with a sense that now they should start hating Ottomans. If not hating directly, at least they should start thinking of Ottomans as a foreigner entity, as an enemy of Arab pan-Arabism, as a fake Islamism or fake formation of Islam or a form of Islam, an innovative form of Islam, or as an occupier, just like the British were occupier, or French colonizers were occupier, or Italian in Libya were occupier. So they are equating between Ottoman rule, and they are no longer different, making any difference between Ottoman Empire and between these Western or European colonization. But in contrary, Balkan literature doesn't do that thing. They consider Ottoman significance. They re-signifies Ottoman legacy. They are continuing with some aspect of Ottoman legacies. Though Ottoman bureaucratic legacy is no longer, Ottoman system is no longer, whatever, but still whatever still remain in their culture. So cultural legacy, they are continuing with that. But in Arab, even they denied that cultural legacy. We see a lot of examples in Saudi. Hijaz railway is there. Okay, what happened? What is the policy of Saudi government, and how did they treat that Ottoman heritage? And a lot of other examples we can collect from country. But right now my topic is only to cover literary aspects. So coming back to Arab world, it was my Balkan chapter now closed. So in comparison to Arab world, I will talk about. Uh, I think. Fatiha is from Arab countries and she knows that poetry. Okay, and Ahmad Shauqi, he is being considered a one of very significant poet from modern Arabic literature. Ahmad Shauqi. After that, not after that, before Ahmad Shauqi, Mahmoud Sami al-Barudi has been considered one of the very significant pillar of modernism in Arabic poetry. So there are modern poets, pillars of modernity in Arabic poets. They are the person who are leader of modernity in Arabic poetry. Another thing, from Iraq, the literature that emerged, it was prose writing, and the novel name is Jalal Khalid, and the author name is Mahmoud Sayyid. I'm taking as an example of one novel from Iraq and two poetries from Egypt. And all these things, all these literary outputs were after Ottoman collapse. The novel of Iraq was published after 1920, in 1924 and 1928, I think. And Ottoman was ended officially in Iraq in around 1917. In Egypt, the poetry that emerged as a neoclassical poetry in modern Arabic literature also is the outcome of first half of 19th century. Sorry, yes. So Mahmoud Sami al-Barudi, Ahmad Shauqi, and this Iraqi novel, they had a lot of references about Ottoman Empire, but they are different from each other. Mahmoud Sami al-Barudi is an Arabic poet. He wrote a lot of poems about Ottoman glory. But more than Mahmoud Sami al-Barudi, Ahmad Shauqi, I had some poetry screenshot in my mobile as well. The Ahmad Shauqi, he wrote a lot of lyrics, poems, praising Ottoman Empire, Ottoman rule, Abdul Hamid Asani, second Abdul Hamid. He praised him. When Ottoman Empire was in war with Europe and Russia, he was praying for Ottoman. When Ottoman was officially ended, announced the end of Ottoman in 1923, Ahmad Shauki cried and he composed a very long poem. Okay, it was to remember Ottoman past, to remember Abdul Hamid, to remember that Sultan of Muslims. We call Sultan. In Arabic, he was called Sultan. He was not called Empire. So Sultan of Islam or Sultan of Muslim nations. So there are a lot of first half of Ahmad Shauki's poetry is dedicated to Ottoman Empire glory, Ottoman Empire power, strength, their significance, their meanings, and he praised them, he admired them, whatever. But what happened when the people started to write about history of modern Arabic literature? They overlooked entirely this aspect of Ottomanism or post-Ottomanism in this poetry. They didn't talk anything about this. Instead, they talk, okay, this poet until he became poet of his nation, he became poet of Arab nationalism. He was writing poetry about Ottoman Empire. It was actually not a good period of his poetic life. Okay, he was not enough matured to sense the issues. He was not enough matured to sense the nationalism, to sense the issues, to sense the need of the people. So he dedicated his poetry first half of his age to Ottomans. Just this a reference. He made this reference in a way that easily target the mind of young generation to force them they think that Ottoman context has no any significance. Okay, so in spite of lot of Ottoman references are found in this literature, the Ottoman context is completely missing from historiography of modern Arabic literature and from modern Arabic criticism and from modern Arabic, schools and colleges study materials. My point of view, in spite of this strong and very clear references in modern Arabic literature, why Ottoman context is missing? Don't we think that if Ahmad Shauki is writing the entire long poem about Ottoman Empire and he is remembering Ottoman Sultan and he is mourning upon Ottoman collapse, and even after all these references and presence of Ottoman in his poetry, don't we think that Ottoman context does exist there? Ottoman context is there, Ottoman references is there, but yet this reference and this context is completely ignored. If someone is talking about any kind of reference to imperial power, they are talking about their conversation or their discussion is limited only up to colonialism, only up to colonial periods. They are not going beyond colonial time and to search for an alternative approach to find out the possibilities or potential space for Ottoman, post-Ottoman in their literary studies. So my point of view here that Ottoman references are there, but yet Ottoman context is missing. So this thing now we can discuss under framework of post-Ottoman studies. That is my point of view in this way. Second thing, coming to Iraq example. In Iraq, Mahmoud Sayyid, he wrote a novel Jalal Khalid. Jalal Khalid, the entire story based on his travel from Baghdad to Mumbai, then from Mumbai to Calcutta, then from Calcutta to Pune and Mumbai, then from Mumbai back to passing by Basra to Baghdad. The story is that that person, when he stays in Calcutta, he met some Indian revolutionary people. So it was a revolution in India. Freedom fighting was there. The people were fighting for independence of India. Gandhiji was there, and a Kesari newspaper was being published at that time from Madhya Pradesh. I think some Madhya Pradesh or maybe from Maharashtra somewhere. So he met the editor of that newspaper, Kesari newspaper. I think it was in Maratha language, if I am not wrong. So, however, there was a dialogue between that Arabic Iraqi author and this person who was editor of that newspaper. Both had revolutionary feelings and revolutionary thoughts. both were fighting for the freedom of their country. But in a way, he was talking with him casually. So this Indian person referred that, Indian people are loving Ottoman too much. They are remembering them. And, they have collected a donation for Ottoman Empire. And they established a movement of Khilafah movement. Do you know this thing? So Iraqi author, the moment he listened this news, he got surprised. Okay, still these people are very, simple people, innocent people. They are still longing for Ottoman Empire. They are still loving Ottoman Empire. They are still working for Ottoman Empire. They are wishing Ottoman Empire's, continuity and should stay in power. These people are actually insane, just like the very simple, innocent people. He was surprised to see that still is the on this earth or in this country there is a certain section of Muslim people who still support Ottoman Empire. So the reference that I want to highlight here, why the moment he saw that Indian Muslims had a donation for Ottoman Empire, but the thing that struck his mind, why he was surprised to listen this, why he got surprised when he saw that Indian Muslims are yearning or longing for Ottoman Empire, whatever they are working for donation. Why? The thing, that psychological thing or the ideology in his mind that made him feel surprised. Actually, the people started hating Ottoman in the very beginning of colonial periods in these countries. They started hating them. So he traveled with that hate from Baghdad to Bombay, then from Bombay to Calcutta. Why did they hate? They hated. There may be multiple reasons. That is not subject of my this lecture. The anti-Ottoman sentiments in Arab world and the reasons behind them, cultural, historical, or any other reason. That is a different topic and very big and vast topic. But one thing I want to refer here. I want to refer here, they were at that time there was some political writings in Baghdad and some newspapers in Baghdad, and first newspaper it was published from Baghdad before 1910, but the specially newspaper that I want to refer here, it was, the newspaper's name was Al Iraq. It was launched in 1914, around 1914. Okay. Through that newspaper, the editor of that newspaper, he was Iraqi national, an Ottoman national, speaking Arabic. He knows Arabic culture, everything was there. But he started to write against Ottoman and depicting Ottoman just like an alien, just like foreigner entity, just like occupiers. And in contrast of Ottoman, he started to write about British mandate, just like the people who can save Iraq, the people who are only care of Iraqi future, the only good people on this earth, if there are, so those people are British. So clearly in his newspaper, he described Ottoman as a son of Gog Magog, as a destroyer, and the person who can ruin, who did ruin Arab culture in history, and the person who are foreign occupiers. So we need a savior. Now the best option we have, who has a capability of saving us, who has a capability of shaping our bright future, those people are British. So this Iraqi author came from this background where in Baghdad already there was anti-Ottoman sentiments were being published and were being perceived or received by the street people. He was coming from that background because he traveled to India in 1920. He came back in 1921 and he wrote this novel around 1921 or 22 and published this novel in 1927 or 1928. So, here the point to be noted, this is how the colonial has a active participation in fueling anti-Ottoman sentiments in Arab world. That is why we see till now there are a lot of anti-Ottoman sentiments till now persist in Arab world. But in Balkan region, we didn't see that Ottoman, sorry, post-Ottoman writers from Balkan region are expressing their hatred against this Ottoman imperial past. So another thing I want to highlight here, This comparison and contrast help us to understand that to much extent the writers from Balkan were independent, and to much extent the writers from Arab world were not independent, because the thoughts that they propagated through their literature about Ottomans, those thoughts were taught to them. They were parodied on them. They were just like a spoon feeding. Yeah. So they were taught about this, and they were not independent to make their own thought or to make their own opinion about Ottoman Empire. So whatever they were taught or they were told, and they express the same thing in their material, in their intellectual writings, in their novels, in their poetries, in their short stories, whatever. But Balkan region people were in this reference were I think to an extent were free. They were not taught. They were not told to think of Ottoman Empire. They thought of Ottoman Empire by using their own sense of understanding, by using their own consciousness, by using their own mind. They didn't borrow their thoughts from any other. But where we come here, they borrowed a lot of thoughts, special modernity, nationalism, freedom, and all these things that are now has been a beautiful terms, actually: freedom, nationalism, and patriotism, Arabism, modernity. A beautiful terms have been used by the Arabs. Okay, so they borrowed these thoughts, especially I'm talking about these Levantine writers and the Egyptian intellectuals. They borrowed this from Europe. They felt the sense of modernity when they came into contact with Europe. They felt of Renaissance in literature when they came into contact with Europe. So, with the contact of Europe, they modernized their poetry, they modernized their fiction, and fiction they brought only from European tradition of writing narrative. So they brought the drama from Europe. They brought all these things from Europe. In Lebanon and in Egypt and Beirut had been a hub of Arabic literature once at the time of beginning of modernism in Arabic poetry. So this is why that I think I am not claiming that this may be a final reason, but I think so. This is the difference why Balkan poets are free in thinking of Ottoman, and why Arab scholars of that period of 1920 or until the first half of century of 20th century, first half of the 20th century, they are not free of in thinking of Ottoman, and they wrote about Ottoman the same thing that we can easily trace in colonial writings as well. So Ottoman were rulers, not rulers; they were occupiers. This thing they have been taught by actually who were occupier by British or by French colonies. They told them. So this is the thing outcome of my lecture, that in comparison between post-Ottoman Balkan literature and post-Ottoman Arab literature, we see that anti-Ottoman sentiments in post-Ottoman Arabic literature are found more in comparative to Balkan literature that was produced after Ottoman collapse. Second point, as a conclusion of my lecture, that why it is turned. Now in West Asia, in their language, Middle East, lot of issues are there that still persist, and they invite us to think of their past, to think of their historical roots. Okay, so Ottoman context still exists in these contemporary issues that are going through in Arab world. So we can't neglect that point of view. We can't neglect that context. Another point, in Arabic literature, lot of Ottoman references are there. So even Ottoman references are there, Ottoman presence is there. So Ottoman context is completely cleared in that literature, but yet in historiography of Arabic literature, we miss that point, and we describe Ottoman as a thing that is very insignificant, not worthy of reading. Just like some writers did with Ottoman. Shokhi Daif, he is a big critic from Egypt. He did the same thing. And Ahmad Hussein Haikal, he did the same thing about Ottoman past. So that is why I named that Ottoman term, means that this is an opportunity to go back and revive our literature and look for a potential space for post-Ottoman context and to discuss about and to develop a theoretical framework to answer the questions that we ask about our literature related to our imperial past. Okay, I think what is the time now? Yes, 8:31. So also time is the hour. So this is the conclusion of my lecture. So thank you for everyone who listened me, and I am going to wind up here on this conclusion.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Imran, for that deeply engaging talk. We'll now open the floor for questions. Please raise your hand or type out the questions in the chat if you'd like to speak. Any questions?
Well, this is Sanjay here. If nobody is asking, then I would like to start
Please
with
do
one
start.
question.
Do start.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you so
So
much.
I would like to know, as um, Dr. Imran was talking about Ahmad Shauqi. Ahmad Shauqi, as I know, that he was influenced by French literature, and on his plays there was influence of Molière, particularly, and he also wrote fables, which were influenced by the fables of Jean de La Fontaine, uh, 17th century writer. Most all these writers are from 17th century: Molière, Racine, and Jean de La Fontaine. So, and Muhammad Ahmad Shauqi wrote tragedies and comedies as well as fables. So, I'd like to know about other writers, Egyptian, who were influenced by French literature, just a couple of them for my knowledge.
Okay, so can I answer now?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, thank you, sir, for asking this question. And yeah, actually, there are a lot of other, not only Ahmad Shauqi, who was influenced by French literature. There is a wave, there is a group of intellectuals from Egypt who were influenced by French literature. Ahmad Shauqi was there, Hafiz Ibrahim was there, and Ahmad Rafa'a Tahtawi was there. So, very famous picture, Taha Hussein was there, and Ahmad Hussein Hakel was there, including writers, poets, and some other Islamic intellectuals. They had a great influence on their way of thinking, way of uh, yeah, thought process, influenced by French literature and our European ideology of modernity and nationalism, whatever. So Ahmad Shauqi is not only the person. We have a lot of other examples, and if I search now, and I can find many more examples that can join them. The person, there is a group. Actually, what happened in Egypt at time of Muhammad Ali Pasha? That time is considered as a beginning of modernity in Egypt. They sent some delegations on their government scholarship. They sponsored their delegations from Egypt to French. Their intention was go to Egypt, go to France and Europe, and learn the good things from Europe, learn their culture, their science, their development, and the sacred behind their development, and bring those things to our country, come back and apply here and contribute our country to develop. In a way, Europe is developing. So they brought, when did they come back? They came back with an outbreak of their thoughts. So someone started to think about even Arabic poetry, the origin of Arabic poetry, authenticity of Arabic poetry is another topic. But the point to be noted here, there are a lot of other faculties, poets, writers who went to France, and they had a great influence on their way of thinking and writing.
Yeah, we will hear from Fatiha also. Just one little thing that I would like to introduce Sanjay and Fatiha to each other because they both work in French. And Sanjay Fatiha is one of the chairs of the ICLA's Arabic Comparative Literature Research Committee, and she's based in Morocco. So, uh, I mean, that is one connection between the two of you, because Fatiha Sanjay is my colleague at the English and Foreign Languages University. He teaches French
Yeah.
and he translates from French into Indian languages and vice versa. So this was one little conversation that Fatiha and I had at Korea, saying that there were so many people who were speaking in English, and French is one of the official languages of the ICLA. So that is one of the places that we, perhaps strengthen more outside France, Francophonie in the main. So I'm just using this opportunity to introduce you to each other, and I think Fatiha has a lot to say about the question that you asked. Imran, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, Fatiha.
Hi, thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed Imran, for this interesting conference. I learned a lot about the Ottoman image in the studied works, Balkan works, and Arab works. I learned a lot as a Moroccan. As you know, Morocco is the only Arab country to not be occupied by the Ottoman. So Ottoman image is not in our center of interest. And Moroccan novels don't speak about and talk about Ottoman occupations or Islamic Khilafah, except some novels which are among the first experiences in writing a novel in Morocco. For example, Zawiya, Brotherhood in English, Zawiya, written in 1942. This novel is talking about Islamic Khilafah in a good way, in a positive way. That's why I am so delighted to listen to your interesting conference. And as I said, I learned a lot. I know that Mashriq novels, Mashriq, Egyptian, Iraqian, deals about Ottoman image in different ways. But in Morocco, as you know, this image is very, very, very rare. شكرا جزيلا مرة أخرى.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Sorry for that. Sorry for this interrupting. Actually, I am very pleased to see that my supervisor from Jawaharlal Nehru University, his name is visible here, Ajmal Muhammad, and he is Associate Professor Dr. Ajmal Muhammad from JNU, from our Department of Arabic, Center of Arabic and African Studies. So he joined this session, and I am pleased to see him in this program. So I am very happy, actually. So I want to welcome him. Thank you, sir, joining this talk.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
And listening. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Imran, yes, thank you very much for your presentation. It was a very wonderful presentation. It was actually, and the knowledge and information that you have brought to us in this discussion, it was really commendable. And the Ottoman Empire, the development of literature in the Ottoman Empire that you have discussed. And as I believe that in the period of the post or before the pre-Ottoman, the literature, Arabic literature itself, I know, it was in a decline condition, isn't it? So, to what extent you find the difference between the pre-Ottoman, or especially in the Ottoman Empire, and later? What were the measures that played a vital role to get the literature developed in that period? And am I
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Should I start answering this question, taking this
Yeah.
question? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Hmm.
So the question is related to what extent the development in literature happened actually. So there is a contrast between pre-Ottoman literature and post-Ottoman literature. Yeah. So yeah, we know that, and many other authors did write about this, that the literature in Arabic language in Ottoman period was not as developed as we see in Abbasid period and as we see in post-Ottoman period. Okay, that thing is acceptable, but my point of view is here is to decentralize the approach of post-colonial lens in literary criticism and to think or to find out a potential possibility or potential space for post-Ottoman literary lens to discuss this literary outputs. One thing. Second point is that, okay, every period has its own significant features. Though in Ottoman period, the Arabic literature could not develop as it is right now. Okay, but instead of judging and giving a final verdict about that literature in black and white word, instead we should have a scholarly discussion on that. Especially in case of Egypt, we should ask why literature could not develop. Is there any Ottoman fault, or is there any other reason? Is there any political reasons, or is there any Ottoman intention to impose this stagnation, rukud, jumud? Okay, we should ask multiple questions: why, and why. The answers that will come into picture responding these questions, that answer will give us a theoretical background to explain the reasons behind this. But what happened? Some nationalist way of writing Arabic history, I can categorize them nationalist historians, I can categorize them nationalist literary critics. What did they do? They immediately, in black and white, just within 2 lines or 3 lines or very brief paragraph, a black and white judgment or verdict has been clearly written out, and the readers of their books has been left in a sense that, okay, Ottoman is not a too much significant thing that we should be worried about that. Ottoman is not a worthy of being read, worthy of reading. Okay, so let us skip this point and we should start our from discussion from contact to Europe and how Europe influenced our literature, how Europe was very advanced, how it was very developed, how it was very this and that. Okay, so a glorification of Europe and picturization of Ottoman is as a very backward thing. Then leaving the readers with a mindset that Ottoman is not a worthy of reading, not a worthy of being considered. So this is the point of view that I want to stress here, that in post-Ottoman framework, as a theoretical framework, we can answer those questions why literature was not able to develop in Ottoman period as it is now. There may be political reasons because Ottoman always survived in Egypt. As Ottoman enjoyed their authority in Istanbul or in many other countries, they survived in Egypt. They didn't find any 10 years period in which they could live actually, with peace and calmness. So maybe there may be other political reasons are there. My question is that to just focus on to decentralize the approach of colonialism, post-colonialism, and to think any potential space for post-Ottoman Ottomanism in post-Ottoman studies, and to check by the post-Ottoman how it is projected by these writers and how it is being remembered by post-Ottoman writers and authors. Someone are missing them, that is imperial loyalty, just like Ahmad Shauqi. Ahmad Shauqi had developed a theoretical concept, a imperial loyalty. So we should discuss instead of Ahmad Shauqi was not a poet of public, he was not a poet of Sha'ab. Actually, his consciousness was not developed, he was not in a mature. Instead, we should think, okay, we divide the poetry of Ahmad Shauqi into sections. The first section of his poetry is focusing on imperiality. That is a theoretical concept we can address under post-Ottoman literary theory. So after his expansion to Spain, and when he come back to Spain after his exile, so he became the poet of public and nationalism, whatever. So this is way. So my point of view, just like to not to judge in black and white immediately, we should have a theoretical explanation. for post-Ottoman literary studies, and we should not leave the students in a way that they should think of negatively about Ottomans. I don't know whether I am able to answer that, but that is my point of view actually. So everyone, someone can add these points to me as well, and if I'm wrong, can correct me. This forum is just to collect feedbacks and to develop a concept and ideas, not to impose my ideas upon each and every person. So I am ready to So open for have receiving feedbacks and reviews, whatever. So let us develop a new theoretical discipline.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So, Dr. Imran, where are you currently? You are in Spain there or in India?
Right now I am in Hyderabad, but recently I had been at
You are
Leiden.
supposed to travel to Spain, isn't it?
Not Spain, sir. Netherlands, Leiden University.
Oh, Netherlands. Okay, okay. When you were living there?
No, I came back, sir. I traveled
Okay,
there in June.
okay. Okay. On vacation.
Yeah, in vacation in June.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So when you are visiting Delhi, January.
Will soon. I will try at my best.
Okay. Okay, all the best. Very nice. It's very nice to see you here in India and listening to you.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Okay, do we have any more questions or any feedback?
Do we have any more questions? I'd just like to say that I think it's very important for us to, think in the way that Imran is trying to direct us towards, because most of the time when we are doing literary studies, what happens is that we are working in English, and so I think English kind of overshadows, or maybe European languages. That is another possible way of thinking, that it overshadows what we think. And so it's very difficult for us to start thinking along different lines. Right or wrong is a later question, but the fact that it's possible to think apart from the given structures of post-coloniality is a very welcome change, I think. And I think that is one of the directions that Imran was trying to kind of direct us towards. And I'm really very grateful that we could have this. So thank you very much, Imran.
Can I add one point, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. So regarding post-colonial, actually, post-colonialism is an established theory as a discipline, academic discipline, and not only in literature. It is in history, in literary, and in cultural studies as well. An established theory. But the technical problem is that when we are talking about post-coloniality in Arab world, so do we think the imperial past of Arab world ends only at the beginning of colonial period? No. Colonial period in these Arab countries is very short. Maybe somewhere 10 years, maybe somewhere less than 10 years, somewhere more than 10 years, very short. In Iraq, in case of Iraq, just from 1914 to 1920, okay, as per documents 1920, till now those countries are not free independent, that is the other matter, okay. But however, till 1920, we consider 6 years. But the imperial past of Ottoman is centuries long. So how can we ignore easily this long period that is spanning our centuries? Okay, and we limit our discussion only to just 4, 5, or 3 years back. So colonialism in Arab world is not a starting or emergence, but it has been a part of chain of political upheavals or political change, a chain of post-Ottoman events. The Ottoman, when they finished their when they ended or collapsed in these countries, immediately they left a vacuum that was easily to be exploited by these colonizers. So they exploited that vacuum, and immediately they colonized these countries. After a few years, they announced independence. Okay, and the new history, chapter of new history got started. But this is a chain of events of post-Ottoman Arab. It is not a one event that where we should limit our discussion. So my point of view that the colonialism in Arab world is just like a chain of post-Ottoman events. So we have an opportunity to go back, to go beyond the post-colonialism, and to search for an Ottoman space in post-Ottoman literature and intellectual productivity.
So we have a question in the chat box.
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
Yes,
Do you want me to
read it out?
Yeah. Will we receive the articles and citations to know more about what we learned today? Thank you.
I could not get that question. Can you repeat, please?
So I think they are asking for resources to know more about the area. So if you could suggest some resources to look into.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I one article I shared with you that was I referred in this lecture. It was written by an Oslo University's professor, post-Ottoman studies as an area studies. Okay, but regarding literature, I didn't see any article yet. But I want to tell you that because this proposal was I carried out actually, so I am writing. I hope so after publishing. But however, if I find any relevant material, I will definitely will feel happy to share with you.
Okay.
But that article I share with you that I referred here by the University of Oslo, professor of Oslo University.
Okay, we'll include that in our mailing list.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so I'd also like to inform everyone that we have a Google form for those who wish to join the mailing list for our research forum. By signing up, you'll receive updates about upcoming sessions. Yeah, so do we have any more questions or should we call it?
I just wanted to ask Imran, this, this research that you have been doing, where are you writing it actually? And in what form? Are you thinking of a book, or is it the subsequent, the research that you've been doing over the last couple of years, which is focusing on this?
Yes.
What is your plan for the writing part of it?
Okay. So, ma'am, planning to disseminate this research outcome till now, it is only in research papers. And the same thing was suggested by that Professor Petra. But I think book is required. But currently, right now, what is on my table right now, the very first target is to complete a paper that still I am working on that and to submit to a international peer-reviewed journal. And after once it gets published, then I will think of book. But in this case, I better to receive the suggestions from you. What do you suggest me?
Yeah, that can come in the future. Actually, I immediately thought of a couple of things which we can talk about.
So in this case, I seek your suggestions, but my immediate target is to publish one research paper. I am working on it. Then publish 3 research papers as a postdoctorate project from Leiden University if my proposal is accepted.
Okay.
So I am waiting for result actually in February. I don't know what happened, but how?
Yes. Right. Yeah.
So thank you everyone for such a thoughtful discussions. I sincerely thank our speaker, Dr. Mohammed Imran, for taking time out of his schedule to give us such an insightful and engaging talk today. Thank you everyone who attended and participated in the session. Your presence and questions made this discussion truly meaningful. We hope to see you all at future events of the Research Forum. Have a great evening.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fatiha. We hope to see you again. And we hope to actually see you as well soon.
I was suffering from cold and cough, so however, my voice may not be clear, but
No, everything was okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. And Professor Ajmal, thank you too.
Thank you, Sajani. شكرا فتيحة طالب.
Thank you very much.
شكرا جزيلا لك. أتمنى أن تهتم مستقبلا ببعض الكتابات المغربية التي تحدثت عن الإمبراطورية العثمانية، مثل رواية الزاني. نعم، الزاوية. نعم. شكرا.
نعم، إن شاء الله نبقى على تواصل. ولدي هناك هدف ليس يعني لبلد واحد، بل هدف هناك أن أدرس كل الأدب ما هو منتج بعد فترة عثمانية. لكن هذه البداية إن شاء الله ستكون بداية يعني نهاية أيضا جميلة.
Yes, it's the beginning. Thank you very much.
What I want scholars.
لا تكون نهاية.
إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
بدعائك وبفضل الله. نعم.
إن شاء الله.
Thank you everyone for
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.